What's going on, guys? I am Dr. Sam Atanasio, co-founder of the Speed Toad and current ball speed world record holder at 245 miles per hour. I'm here today to talk to you about frequency when it comes to speed training. Let's do this. So we get questions about this actually all the time. Frequency when it comes to speed training. We have our speed training program on the Speed Toad app. If you haven't downloaded that, go check it out. But we get a lot of people who are training 1 or 2 times per week and they're going, why can't I do this 4 or 5 times per week? What's going on? Well, it ultimately comes down to this. Less is more when it comes to speed training. The reason for this is your central nervous system needs time to recover. This is a lot different than training muscles. We're training your nervous system and those very little fast twitch muscle fibers. When you're lifting in the gym and you're lifting heavy, your muscles need time to recover. That's why you end up getting delayed onset muscle soreness at about 48 hours in, 24 to 48 hours. They'll usually alleviate in 72 and you know you're fully back ready to go. Well, what happens is your nervous system doesn't give you these same indicators of soreness as your muscles do when you're actually training them in the gym. So you can't always tell if you're recovered or not recovered from your nervous system. Well, what happens is a lot of people end up falling into this pattern of training sub-maximally. What this means is that when you're at 100% and you're swinging as fast as you can with Speed Toad, you're using it how it's supposed to be used. If you train too frequently, you end up training the majority of your time maybe at 95%, maybe at 90%, maybe sometimes you're even down at 75%. Well, all you're doing is reinforcing to your nervous system that it is okay to move slow. The point of Speed Toad and the point of overspeed training is to fire 110% compared to your driver. We're swinging it faster than we can our driver. If we're always training in sub-maximal and sub-optimally, what happens is you start telling your nervous system, we're good, you're tired, it's okay to relax. And what happens is your nervous system gets used to this and it stops moving faster. It is truly better to fire at 100% intensity 1 to 2 times per week than it is to fire more times per week at that sub-maximal. Now there's some times where it's okay to fire sub-maximally. In our program, especially when we get to level 3 and level 4, sometimes we do include a half-day training during the week, which is more for volume and to raise your base up, but that is for more advanced swingers. And even for me, the fastest golfer in the world, I train with a Speed Toad 2 times per week. If I was training 3 or 4 times, which I have admittedly tried to do in the past, I've burnt out my nervous system too much because I'm swinging too often throughout the week. I'm trying to fire faster than I can, and inevitably, in a few weeks' time, even 6 weeks' time, my speeds actually go down because all I've done is tell my nervous system to move slower. Don't make that same mistake I did. If I don't need to train 3, 4, 5 times per week with the Speed Toad, you absolutely do not need to train that much with the Speed Toad. To put it in further perspective for you guys, let's take 3 examples. One is a guy who's going to be swinging the Speed Toad 2 times per week, gives optimal rest between the times, and so he's only training twice, but he's swinging at 100% intensity every single time he's training. Let's take a third guy. Maybe 1 day per week he's training at 100%, but 2 or 3 other days per week he's actually only training at 90 and sometimes 85% because he's so fatigued from the previous training days. Which guy do you think is going to have better progress? Well, I'm here to tell you that person 1 will have better progress because we're doing nervous system and tiny fast twitch muscle fiber training. Anything that you do sub-maximally, especially with your muscle fibers, reinforces use of bigger muscle fibers versus the muscle fibers we're trying to train. What happens is your body is so tired and your nervous system's so tired, your body's just gonna recruit other muscles to start moving them where we don't want to be training those muscles in the first place. So person 1 would have more progress. Likewise, throw a third person into the mix who's training maybe every day with the Speed Toad. Well, what happens is when you train that much, now every single day you're firing at 75% intensity, maybe even 60% intensity, occasionally popping up to 80 to 90% intensity. At that point, you are just continually telling your nervous system to hold back. Your nervous system will end up protecting itself. If you're overtraining your nervous system, it will come back down and it'll ball itself up and it'll say, nope, we're done. We don't want to swing fast anymore. No, thank you, that's not for us, because it wants to protect itself. What we're trying to do every single week, couple times per week, maybe twice, maybe once, maybe 1.5 days, depending on which level of the program you're at, we're trying to poke your nervous system and say, hey, it's okay, guy, we can move a little bit faster. And then it does. And then we go again. Hey, it's okay. Like last week we were great. Let's move a little faster. Let's move a little faster. That's why our program is laid out so specifically, is because we have proven this is the most effective way to actually gain speed, which is why our speed toad users have such good progress. The average speed gain is 4.8 miles per hour in the first 4 weeks of training with the speed toad, and that's following the program. Those that don't follow the program will likely have significantly less results because they'll be overtraining, thinking that more is more, when in reality, less is more. A common thing that we hear from a lot of our customers is that the program feels too easy. They see these crazy results, they still think they aren't doing enough, and they still want to greatly increase their volume to get even more results. This is when you really have to remember less is more. You're having crazy results. That doesn't mean that the more you do is going to lead to more results. Most weeks it may even feel like you could do more because it's too easy, but that's okay. With the speed toad, gaining speed truly is that easy. Don't think just because it isn't crazy hard that you have to do more to make it harder so that it'll actually work or that it'll work better. We specifically designed the program for optimal nervous system activation and maximum speed gains. Doing more will not lead to more gains. It'll actually hurt the process. This is a perfect time to remember that it is not practice that makes perfect. It is perfect practice that makes perfect. Follow the program exactly how it is prescribed to get maximum results. The speed gains speak for themselves. Happy speed training.